morning and welcome to Life and Style. It's Relationship Wednesday right here on your favorite TV station, KT, and I'm your host, Chris Jetem on Talk to Pastor Chris. You know that every morning, every Wednesday morning, we begin with topical issues and a panel. We discuss things that would build up and things that pertain to your relationships, questions that you have, matters that are of concern to you. So I've got a panel even today, and we'll be talking about whether it is possible to have a successful relationship online. Is that even possible? Well, the hashtag is KTN Life and Style, and the social media platforms are at KTN Life _ Style for both Twitter and Instagram, KTN Life and Style for Facebook. And we're coming to you from the 4 Points by Sheraton in Hurlingham. The ambience is good. It's a place that you can easily access malls if you want to stay around Nairobi. But if you live within Nairobi, this is a place that you could come for both business and leisure. So you've got to make the time and just come out and hang out over here. I've got these three ladies today. I've got an all-ladies panel. I've got three ladies who are going to talk to me about online relationship, whether there is a possibility for that to be successful. And I'm going to start with Sebi. Sebi, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Very well. Good to have you on the show.
Yes.
All right. You mind introducing yourself? I know you've been here so many times, but of course.
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Sebi Kokeo. I am a communication and PR practitioner, and I'm also mastering international relations.
All right. Then, in the middle, are you, Judy?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Judy Owiti. I'm a youth mentor, and I'm passionate about raising leaders in the next generation. And thank you for the opportunity to be here.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Pastor Chris, for hosting us in this beautiful place. My name is Ruth Bolo. I'm a fashion designer and I'm a motivational speaker.
Okay, so I'm just going to go straight at it. Is it possible to have a successful online relationship?
I would say yes, it is, but it's a very small chance. It's a very small window. 1 out of, say, every 5 online relationships make it to the next stage. Most of the time, online relationships are flooded with lies and all those kind of things, so it makes it a bit difficult to then progress it into something serious and long term.
All right, all right. Judy, is it possible?
I think it depends on what the two really want out of the relationship. I have experienced both. I have seen couples, a few, maybe 1 or 2, that have had a successful relationship. It started over than online, and then they ended up getting married. Then I have seen now the worst, where it started off as online relationship, but then they got married and they broke up almost immediately because they didn't really know each other. So I think it's about the two of you. What do you want out of the whole thing, and are you sincere about it?
All right. You know, Sebi, Judy says, she keeps on using the words, they started off. She keeps on using that, they started off. Is it possible to sustain a relationship online?
Basically, yes. Why I'm saying it is possible is she's mentioned that it depends with what both of you want. And I really think the problem comes in whereby for how long is this going to happen online? Because you're not going to date someone online forever. I mean, the idea of dating is to being together, marrying, getting kids together. So I don't think this will work if it's online. So we only need to know how long is the online dating going to last. And I love the point when she said that it depends. I mean, she's seen couples who have broken up due to their own issues, but they met online, and others have sustained them, marriage or relationship online, yeah, from online dating. I don't think where we meet really matters when it comes to dating or when it comes to marriage. I think what matters is where are we going to, where is the direction, or what do we all want? Yeah, because we've met people in church and they've broken up really ugly. So where you meet someone does not really matter.
Okay, but what is the fear then that people have with online? You know, first of all, would you do online dating yourself?
I've done online dating
You
before,
have?
but I would not do it ever again. No, thank you. That is a boat I don't think I would ever want to be on again.
All right.
But again, it depends on the person. Maybe for someone else it's worked, but for me, it didn't work.
Why
And
didn't it work?
Because of lies. You know, a relationship is supposed to progress with every stage. They call the first 3 months the honeymoon stage, where you're still very cozy with each other. No one wants to upset the other, even when there's something wrong. No one wants to bring up any issue that's going to bring tension in the relationship. Then after that, your relationship is supposed to be on another level where you're comfortable enough to be able to sort out your issues in a decent manner. However, it's a bit difficult when you're dating online, because most of the time you find that if someone is annoyed, they have the option of leaving you hanging. So you both carry on that anger and that grudge for as long as you can. You're not able to sort out differences amicably and almost immediately. It drags on for a bit too long.
Is that an online thing? Is that a personality thing?
It could be a personality thing, but the online thing pronounces it. Same to honesty in the relationship. Honesty depends on you. It depends on the person, right? But you see, when it's in an online setup, then it pronounces the possibility of lying in the relationship, because most of the time you're not able to see the other person. Even in this era where we have WhatsApp and you can do the video calls and everything, someone can still tell you, hey, my camera is not working, if they don't want to talk to you. We've had cases where people are being scammed through the online relationships. So it's a very delicate relationship, and it is, if you're lucky enough to find someone who knows what they want and someone who is in it for the long term, then it can work, if you're also in it for the long term. But if you find someone who is there to play games and waste your time, then you are in for a proper roller coaster. So it really, again, like Sebi says, it depends on the person's personality, but the online pronounces everything negative, not positive.
All right. You kept on saying that people started off, and I asked Sebi whether they could sustain that. She said yes, but I don't think she convinced me. The people who will date or will say they're in a relationship online for quite a while, they've never met that person. How long is somebody supposed to take before they meet the other person? Because sometimes they're very deep, they're talking very intimate stuff. They've gotten to a place where the favors that are being done, money is being sent, all of that. But these people have never met. They actually feel like they really know each other. And it's gone on for 1, 2 years or something. How long is that supposed to go if it's going to be healthy?
Again, I think you need to ask yourself, the two of them, are you on the same page? Because you can be, you already, maybe the lady has already, in her mind, she's already seen the wedding dress, and she's already seen the ceremony. But the guy is just in it for fun, They probably have
and it could be the other way around too.
Of course, these things happen. So it could be that, it can be that situation where one is serious and the other one is not. So they're not on the same page. That can go on for years, because one person is playing, the other one is serious. And so, and then also, the social media can be so superficial, Somebody can appear to be what they are not. It could be just a misrepresentation. So somebody could be hiding behind that, and they don't want to really reveal who they really are, so they're prolonging it, So you are thinking you're speaking to this 25-year-old man, maybe you're also 25 or younger or whatever, but you could be speaking to a 50-year-old man that probably even lives next to you. You understand, like your neighbor. And you are thinking you're speaking to someone in America or, a far-off country. So it's very superficial, and it really has to come down to, are these people on the same page? What do they want out of it? And just build trust, a point of trust where they trust each other by knowing what they want. And I think that they should, as Sebi said, define when is this going to move to the next stage, Because really that's the point. You want to get married to this person. So yes, you're going to be chatting back and forth for about how many, 6 months, 1 year? What are we comfortable with, and how do we move to the next stage?
You raised up an issue, and I'm just thinking there are two terms that keep on coming that are faceless, that we keep on putting blame on. I hear a lot on this show people saying society. Then I hear a lot of people saying social media. The social media in society is made of real individuals. What happens when we go online, Sebi? What is this that is now called social media? Because I'm sitting here with you, Sebi is a person, Judy is a person, Ruth is a person. When we are online, then it takes its own form. It's now called social media. But it's not an automatic thing, you know.
Yes, I would say this, that if we were at loggerheads with you, whatever I may tell you now and what I can tell you on text is completely two different things. Yeah, there's also body language. There's also how you can harmonize things when you're with the person physically. So social media tends to hide a lot about our personality, about who we are, how we want other people to see us. Some perpetrators, by the way, I tell everybody every day that don't judge somebody because they write some colorless things, sexist. People just want to be noticed, probably. They also want to be associated that, oh, he has a massive following. So social media tends to hide a lot of character traits of an individual, and that's why we tend to say that online social media is completely different.
Okay.
And also, if I can just add on to that, we now live in a world of, social media has filters. Like 100 filters. So you can put filters on your face until the day someone meets you and they're like, wait, where is the person I was speaking to? Because you are not that person. And so we hide behind this fakeness. We want to appear perfect. Social media wants portrays people to be perfect and to live perfect lives. So
does it bring out who we are, or is it shaping us into something else?
I would not say it neither, because you have your persona and then you have your online persona. The people who will probably tell you, wait, on Facebook you sound very bold, or on Instagram you look very short, so there's sometimes you probably don't do it on purpose, and sometimes you probably don't even know you're doing it, but you end up giving out a perception of you that you didn't even mean to give out. Sometimes maybe you're trying to look like a human rights activist, and then you end up coming out like as this angry, lonely person. So it's really social media. I would not say it's shaping you into something else, or it's bringing out in something. It depends on how the other person views it. Because the way I see my online persona is very different from perhaps the way she would see my online persona, or from the way you would view it, right? So social media can be looked at as very different, so many angles, and that's why I always say social media should never be a basis for any couple to end their relationship or start having frustration. It should never be a basis for that, never.
Why do I think social media shapes our thinking, as you said? Because number one, there's a way somebody wants to portray themselves on social media, as I mentioned earlier. I don't want people to start thinking I am hurt, therefore I'm going to hide behind this, just because it provides a platform of expression where we can all express ourselves. However, you may not run away from your persona, but you can hide it under your keyboard. Therefore, social media, how I want to see you, depends on what I'm thinking. Therefore, social media shapes my mind. She said that there are so many filters that you may not know the person. I am thinking, I know there are filters. You're already thinking there are filters, but I know there are filters. So maybe she's not light-skinned. Maybe she's not dark as I think. So it all depends on social media, by the way. It shapes completely how we think about individuals, how we see our leaders, how we see other friends. You think somebody's living a good life. Why? Because they choose to show you what they want to see. And because the social media has created a platform that everything should look good, and that you should not come out and say who you really are.
What I will agree is that it shapes our thinking, but not us as a person. For example, Ruth will now not stop putting on black because everyone online is putting on.
You see how, for example, just to deviate a little bit, for example, when it comes to matters politics or matters football or something, you find people who ordinarily would not converse. Yes. They will come out, and then depending on the emotive nature of the subject, you'll see people who will hurl insults that you would never think would even greet their neighbor. Is it that there's a different persona? Is it bringing them out, or is it because they've seen everybody else is now lashing out, bullying, so they also do the same? Is it peer pressure in a sense? Because some of them are the most quiet people.
Just like Sebi has said, it gives us a platform to hide behind quite a lot. That's why we have quite a number of pseudo accounts. Because if I know there is nothing you can do to me if I say something online, then really I'm going to keep on doing it, right? So it gives us a platform to hide behind
So
so
that's
much.
not really you?
It's
That's not really you? The one that can do whatever they want because they want to be found out? You don't think that that is the person now being brought out?
Yes, I think it's you. I think what I was going to say, to the point I was going to bring out is that social media will eventually bring out your insecurities. It will bring out who you really are. And you only need to bring up a hot topic, something that will, for example, like if it's football, maybe your team has lost and someone is making fun of you. You'll be surprised that the comments I have seen, the comments I've seen on social media of people actually coming at each other, and those people would never in real life
interacted?
Yeah, because maybe they're shy, they're insecure, but now they're there. You can now see that insecurity playing out because now they're lashing out at that person. So it's the insecurity now playing out. So, yeah. So I think that it really does reveal eventually who we really are. Because if you're putting filters, also, it also speaks to how secure you are about yourself and how you want people to perceive you.
But Pastor Chris, yes, it does bring out our insecurities and our fears, but our insecurities and our fears do not define who we are whatsoever. That's why I'm really insisting. It's not bringing out who I am. It's bringing out my insecurities and fears that I need to deal with. But that doesn't define who I am. Because what happens if I get past being shy in front of people, I'm now able to talk the same way I am able to talk online. What happens then, right? So it is not defining who I am. It is helping me, it is not helping as such, but it's just giving me a platform to bring out those insecurities, the fears, and maybe in some cases the positive things that I didn't know. Because you find that's when someone becomes a comedian online, but in person you would not even want to talk to the person because the person doesn't even smile, the person doesn't even look, right to your eyes. So I feel like our securities and our insecurities and fears don't define who we are. So social media brings out an aspect in us, but does not bring out who we really are. It doesn't bring out our real character. It brings out just a side of it. If I can say, it brings out, say, 40%.
Okay. All right.
I would like to discontract whatever she said. For instance, when it comes to, let me derivate a bit, social media bullying, right? I've been a victim, so I know. She told me that, Sebi, I did not bully you. I was not insulting you because I know you. No, it was a hit of the moment. Okay? Brings me back to social media shaping our thinking. Yeah? However, you cannot hide your persona for so long on social media. There's an aspect of you that will come out, that you are actually an abusive. That's why you can create a fake pseudo account and go and insult somebody. I wouldn't do that, because why would I insult somebody I don't know about? Yeah, so social media hides a lot, but the denominator here is that it gives us it gives us a room, a platform to express.
All right.
Really who
So
we
is
are.
that a safe place? Now I'll go back to, you said that it doesn't matter where we meet. Is that a safe place then to meet?
It is a safe place to meet because I can still hide whom I am while I'm sat with you. Well, first impression, you will get we normally ignore it, that you got an intuition and, oh, whatever, maybe it's just a good person. How many times do we meet people who are bullying? How many times do we have people who we really know and change to be beasts? So it doesn't really matter where we meet.
It is a safe place to meet, but not to sustain a relationship. Because at some point, you've had a long day, you've had a crazy day, you've had people attacking you left, right, and center. You've gone through a lot, and sometimes you just need to come home to someone. You just need someone to talk to in person. Someone who can really read into your emotions. Someone who can just, sometimes you don't even want to talk. You just want someone to hold you. And online is not going to sustain that. So it is a good place to meet, because then you get to, there are a number of things you can probably ask each other when you're still both a bit too shy, say, or you're still trying to impress each other. Then you progress to something else. But sustaining it online is a lie.
But now, you know, and probably your generation is different from Judy's generation when it comes to matters of dating. So in this case where, you know, you have like several hundreds of inboxes, for example, on Facebook, how do you even get to know who you need to pay attention to that could be a possible relationship partner? You know, how do you even get to sieve? That's easy?
That's super easy.
How is it easy?
It depends on you as a person. For me, there are certain attributes that I look for in a man, right? Say, for example, patience or persistence. So I will see, and boldness, right? So I see a man
They're
who...
listening.
But I'm not touching. But I see a man who is persistent and is bold out of the many 740-something people, and I'll be like, maybe I should test his limits and see just how far he can go. And out of that, he will impress me to levels I didn't even think he could get to. And that's where I know where to begin. As opposed to someone who will try the first time, second time, and the third time they're already insulting me. I think how to screen your inboxes of who is potential is the easiest thing ever.
I think I'll differ with you. Because you can meet, if somebody is out to get someone, you know, a man can pursue even for 5 years. You know, they can be very persistent. If they just focus on you and they say, I'm going to get this girl, they can be so persistent, and you will think that they have good intentions, but really they have time on their hands, and they have a goal that they want to reach. I have met a lot of very annoying, persistent people online who just don't want to listen. You know, you're trying to tell them, you know, until you block them. They just keep telling you the same thing. You're like, you know, this is not why I'm here on social media. Can you leave me alone? And they keep telling you the same thing, and they keep telling you the same thing, even after you have told them things very clearly. So I differ with that persistence on social media means that the person is serious. I don't think so.
No, that's why I said it depends on the attribute. You see, the attribute is a package. You definitely won't just look at one thing. For example, there is a way, you might have, say, two persistent men, right? And so one will send you a message at 5 a.m. in the morning, hi, the HAE, right? And there's someone who will say, hello, my name is so-and-so, I've been following you for some. They know how to approach you, right? And they might not even directly go into the fact that they are, say, attracted to you, or the fact that they, you know, there's a way they will approach it that will make you feel, this guy gets me. And there's a way the other guy who is persistent will approach you, and you'll feel like, oh my goodness, I don't even want to go online. You know, so it's a whole package of things that you will look at that will make you feel like, I think this is a risk I'm ready to take.
Do you think, Sebi, that sometimes it's very easy for somebody to fall prey online because you come in over there, you're thinking this is your space, Facebook is asking you what's on your mind, you come in with your emojis, you know, it's a low day, or you're putting up something, you're even just being philosophical, trying to encourage yourself through a day or something. I'm sitting over there, I'm watching, I'm thinking, she must not be very okay. Then I decide to offer you the solace that you're seeking. Summer, I just begin a conversation. And because you are at a very low place, you know, you're not thinking too much. And so you begin to respond. Don't you think that it is easier to fall prey on social media than it would be if it were real life, even if you were down and then you're sitting over here taking a drink, I'm sitting over here, I want to begin a conversation. You may size me up more in real life than when you feel you're in the safety of your house.
I would say this, that low moments really need some kind of treatment. It doesn't matter whether it's online or physical. However, social media is a double-edged sword. You will meet good people and you will meet bad people. When you talk about persistence, even physical or whatever someone may choose to do because they are up to no good. Yeah. However, if it has not happened to somebody, does not mean it won't happen to another person. And if it happened to you, doesn't mean it cannot happen to me or it will happen to me. It's a balancing of the equilibrium. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. But I want to echo this, that social media has pushed us to the cliff, that you only have two choices. Either you'll jump off, meet your danger, or you stay firm on it. Therefore, as much as it gives us the leeway of expression, of getting to know people and networking, it also endangering our lives as human beings that can express themselves.
You know, the people who are very good at offering you that safety when you need it. And so all they need to do is to just go online. They're checking all these people. You can tell this girl is heartbroken or she's going through something. And so it's easy to just come over there and offer the conversation. Is that a good place to start a relationship?
Pastor Chris, relationships have started on Facebook.
Yes.
Have started on all those social
Yeah,
Under
but I'm
any
just talking about at that particular point where you were low, you were broken,
You know,
you're wounded.
sometimes the kind of characteristics that we show whenever someone we deeply care for is going through something tells a lot about us, right? It is a very risky place to begin a relationship. Very, very risky. But at the same time, it will help shape the kind of relationship you're going to have. And at least you know this is the kind of person this is the kind of person you're getting into a relationship with. However, I will say something very risky. It's about time people learned to be just a little bit selfish when getting into this sort of online relationships, right? When you're getting into a relationship, you're at a low place and someone is offering you solace, and you really need someone. You might not give every single detail of whatever you're going through, but this person is talking to you and making you smile, making you laugh, giving you tips here and there that are making you relax, taking you to holiday places that are making you take your mind off things. Seize that moment. Whether it will work out in future or not, it is God who knows. But make sure that by the time that relationship is ending, you have some positive things that you can look back and say, oh well, I didn't actually waste 3 months of my life, you know, as opposed to putting your guard up so high that at the end of that relationship you've left with nothing. It's about time we get just a little bit selfish and seize the different moments that we can actually look back and appreciate in relationships.
How does that sit for an individual, Judy?
I think for me, because I mentor young people, for me I'm thinking probably this conversation is about people who are a bit older, you know, 20 something and above, maybe people who are ready to settle down, who are looking for relationships. But I'm thinking about young people. I'm thinking about a 13, 14-year-old who is online, and and they have had this thing about online dating, and they want to experiment with it. And there is a 30-year-old somewhere preying on that 14-year-old. What is their emotional capability? That's a question that I always ask young people. Your emotional capability of being able to handle conversations, to handle a relationship online. Because that person is already above you in terms of emotional capacity, thinking capacity, intellectual capacity. They already know how to play you. So how can you get that capacity to handle? So for me, that's always something that I talk to young people about. They don't go looking for, probably it's the wrong time for you to go looking for online relationships.
Trouble.
Yeah, it's actually trouble. And we've had cases, we see it all over news, especially in the Western world, where a 13-year-old has been raped by somebody, you know, because you're giving all your details. You understand? At that age, you give your address, this is where I stay, this is my number. So you're giving all this information very quickly. And so you really don't have that emotional maturity to deal with a relationship like that. So I think it also depends on age.
Okay.
Yes.
And now I wanted to ask this: how deep should an online relationship go? How much details do you give? To what extent do you become affectionate to one another? Um, you've never met this person. Are you supposed to give gifts? Are you supposed to lend money, bail out? Uh, what are the boundaries?
I think giving or a form of expression depends on how far you've gone with the communication. Yes, we've given people money before, people we have never met. We have met strangers. So I really, it means it depends on how you connect, how you communicate, how you can tell. I'm thinking you're sane enough to tell whether is he lying? Well, if he lies, then you fall a victim. What about if he's genuine? Therefore, we cannot actually differentiate whether someone
while
is
you're
lying.
saying that, sorry to cut you, but while you're saying that, I remember a case of a lady who came online, put up a now I don't know whether that is her, very pretty face, amazingly pretty face, and had this claim that she had lost the father and the mother within a space of 1 week, both, and then came up with this story of how the body was being exhumed. I think the mother's body was to be exhumed. So, and she's the only child or something. So there was a lot of outpouring of sympathy. And she had this thing of, people giving money to her. Then later on, the same person had changed the name on social media. The number was the same. The story was nearly the same. How does one get to know how far? Because there have been a lot of other scams like that, right? How do you get to know that? Even as you say, it depends on the connection level. But this is somebody who actually got several people convinced that she had lost her parents.
That one
Here's
is
the
now
thing.
coming into into us. We are human. We are empathetic, and some people wouldn't even rush for that. Some would go for such things because they're thinking, oh, I need to help her. Doesn't really mean that they are sure whether the people are genuine or not.
And here is the thing, Pastor Chris. Normally, when we get such cases, especially when someone comes out to and cries out to the public for a certain kind of help, it is always advisable to go to the ground, go and see the actual reality of something. That is one. And two, and in a relationship setup, the minute I hear my partner's parents are going through something, your parents are your anchors. I will do everything possible to make sure, even if I'm out of the country, there is someone back home who can be there to see
So what
what's
if this
going
guy
on.
is in Iceland?
And like
Nobody
I
in
say,
Iceland.
love is a risk. Love is a high. It's like business. It's a high risk. You might come out with some positive benefits, or you might come out completely a loser. That's why I say, seize the memories that you can. Those that are negative
Ruth?
will haunt you for some time, but you will not have left like a Manu player with zero. You need to see some of these moments. But again, it's a risk that we take. You might meet
Let's
someone in
talk
person and
about-
that person is lying to you at that moment.
Let's talk about, it's online and it's long distance at the same time. And sometimes it's such a long distance that you don't even have anybody who can verify what is being said. But you've connected with this person online. And then they begin to get to the place where they need favors. My business is not doing well. I'm having this issue. I need some money. I'll get myself back on my feet. I will send it back. Is that a safe place to go?
I think I would say if you're trading online, if you want to find love online, you need to go in with your heart and your head. Because there are always red flags. And if your head is there, you will start, you'll start pointing them out. This is not adding up. Why does he keep asking me this? Or why is he saying this? And last time he said this.
Kids should not be on social media when it comes to dating and things like that. Please try and monitor your child. I know sometimes it's so difficult, we can't manage to really monitor what they do exactly with phones that we give them, especially this era, the information era. But try and monitor your child. That's number one. Number two, it is very wrong to start dating online after you've had a bad, a breakup with your man and you've been expressing it on social media, believe me, so many people are there. So many people are eyeing you. And by the way, men love the sickest animal. I mean, they will get into it. They will look for you. So do not look for, don't start a relationship when you're in your low moments or when you're heartbroken. What I say, especially as at now, that I love when people express themselves. It doesn't matter where. When you're in your low moments, please express yourself. To do anything you need to do. I mean, cry, share, write, but don't start a relationship, yeah, yet, because you need to get it off. She said that in a relationship you can come out as a loser and as a winner. I would say that in every engagement with a human being, there's nothing lost. You must get something out of that person. If he killed you, then other people will learn from it. That she met so and so and she was killed. If it happens to be then the negative. If you meet somebody and you break up in 3 months, first of all, the first 1 month and 2 months was total happiness. So you enjoyed it. Yeah, there's something to learn from someone.
Wow.
But why would you break up in 3 months if the first 2 months was such joy?
But just to add on to what Judy said, if you know you do not have the mental capability and emotionally you're not ground enough to withstand the kind of heartbreaks that come with online relationships, just don't get into it. It is very easy. Don't take that.
Julie, how do you identify? How do you get to know that I am mentally capable and I am emotionally stable to start an online? I mean, we've had people breaking up out of online.
But you know you're safe.
Yeah, I think it's more, she was talking about, you doing that to yourself. You asking yourself whether you're able to take that pressure and the heartbreaks that are coming in. It may not be somebody else doing that for you. But still, even with that, sometimes we don't really know our strength and we don't know our weakness. I think sometimes we get to certain places and we break where we didn't think we would break. The places where we overcome, where we thought we were going to break down, and then we overcome. So I think experiences show us what is really within us. Sometimes somebody thinks, somebody will introduce themselves and say, I'm a cool person, I'm a quiet person, and then something will happen, they will flip in a way that they have never thought they would flip. Then there are people who everybody knows that one is a very angry person, Then something happens and everybody's, shocked. They handle it so cool. So everybody's surprised that you acted so mature. They wonder, what do you mean? Because they never thought that they have that level of strength. So just to wind up very quickly, what are the rules? If you're going to tell somebody who is going on to an online relationship, what are the rules? Very quickly, in about 20 seconds.
I think number one, lower your expectations about somebody you're meeting online, and also be free. I mean, be flexible enough to know that it will work or it may not work. Number three, you need to know how far this is gonna be. Yeah, how long will you sustain it?
All right.
I would say take it slow.
I would say lower your standards but maintain, lower your expectations but maintain your standards. And just like Judy said, in as much as you're going in with your head and your heart, go with your head first and then let your heart follow later.
All right. And then, move it from online to offline. Get to meet somebody in real life. Get to find out whether there are people that know them that you do know. It's always just good to be safe somehow, not snooping, but you can always try to find detail about them, see whether you have common friends, common acquaintances, places that you share, interests that you share, just to be a bit more sure, and that could happen, whether it is in real life or online. You just need to be sure. That's all the time that we've had on this discussion today, coming to you from the 4 Points by Sheraton in Harlingen. This has been Talk to Pastor Chris. Chris Lokusa is coming up next, so don't go anywhere. Keep it right here. Relationship Wednesday.